On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock.
Good news for you and me. SearchGPT is now available for free.
You're not seeing double. Google can now add more sponsored results from the same advertiser.
And we up the ante on page annotations.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep.
I'm Julia Mateer,
And I'm Greg Finn.
and it's officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on December 20th, 2024.
All right. And I've got some presents for you both. I forgot tables, but I'll get them next show. But Shep,
I feel really uncomfortable.
I just want to say we had a conversation in 2023 and I bought a present and I forgot to give it to you. It's been sitting in my garage since then. I told you it was going to be life-changing. I couldn't believe that you lived this way.
All that's coming to mind is when I told you if I had spaghetti squash growing in my yard.
So I've got a present. You can look at the date on the top. It's going to say 12/23.
You wrapped this a year ago?
No, I just wrapped it today.
Okay.
It's been sitting in my garage in a box, unopened. It probably isn't even like usable anymore. But
It's
here
a
you go.
spaghetti squash.
It might not be usable.
It's very light. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. It's from 2023. Very belated.
Is this box taped?
I just like a little bit.
What do you expect me to do?
There's like, it's like Scotch tape.
This looks like a pharmaceutical.
It is.
What? I have always wanted a new Roku remote.
And I think in 2023 you had said you lose it all the time. And this is the one where you can push and the remote will make noise for you. So you never can lose a remote. It's always going to be.
This is going to bring so much peace to my home.
All right. And Julia?
Good Lord. Okay, first of all,
What?
this is the heaviest thing ever.
Do I know what this
It's
is?
not even for her.
Okay, I know what this is.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Here's what it is.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god!
got you the
is it?
cactus one.
You have to share. It's an audio program.
I love that. It's like a little green cactus, like, house for my cat.
I got your cute
son.
one. You got a
Oh
bed
my
up
God, I love
top,
that.
a little ball, and a little place to hide.
Oh my god!
I figured-
could cry.
I didn't want you to have your necklaces ruined anymore.
Thank you.
Yowie
so
Christmas.
Nice. He's gonna be so happy.
And Shep, I'm like, Shep, this is a good one, right? She's like,
That's so good.
We did get you gifts, but I don't even.
you did not give
I
me
don't wanna
gifts, you
give-
liar.
We have them, but I really don't want to give
You
them to
do
you.
not have gifts.
We do. They're in my purse.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do. Are we doing it?
Yeah.
You have to close
You
your eyes.
actually got me
I
gifts?
didn't wrap them. It's like
Look,
really.
shocking.
It's really embarrassing how bad they are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's fine.
We'll do better
Okay.
next year.
I feel like it's gonna be like smelling salts or like Zins.
No, it's not even personal. That's
That-
what makes it so sad.
Oh,
You just
okay.
looked.
I sorry.
See?
You talk to me.
I know how much you love tools, so I got you a 4-in-1 tape measure. That's also a level, a notepad, and a pen.
Oh my gosh, that's really nice. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
It does everything. And it's got a clip. I should just wear it around on my belt. It's very nice. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Julia has something too.
Oh no.
Okay. You know, I just
I
thought
didn't even know you guys were getting
these are
anything.
very convenient.
Okay.
You know, you can. It's everyday use. Maybe every other day.
Okay.
Okay. Hold your. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
hold your
That was
hand
okay.
out.
Okay.
Hold it out. Hold your hand.
Can I open my eyes?
Yeah.
Wow, some socks.
I have a pocket.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I always
You can
am like
put
I could just put
socks.
I could
I'm so sorry.
put cash in my calves. These are very, very nice. Thank you guys very much.
Are you
Your
gonna wear them?
cashmere.
I can't wear 'em. Promise you, I'm wearing a soccer practice tonight,
Well, right.
but I'll wear them maybe tomorrow.
You could put your tool in the sock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. I'll just
You could
click
put some
this little
vids
thing
in there.
right into the side.
I really want to tell you the real story.
Yeah.
think I know the
Last
real
night I
story.
went to Target and Applebee's with Jill Fetcher.
Okay.
And I realized on the way over, I was like, oh crap, Greg's bringing us gifts tomorrow. And she immediately walks in within 5 seconds. She's like, oh, Greg would love this.
Thank you, Jill. Thanks for thinking of me.
Like, how did you find those things?
Yeah.
It's like,
Insane.
well, I'll let you know how the carrying things in my socks goes. It's very, very convenient. She knows me. She knows me well.
Anthony Higman is fired up about something again, even at the most wonderful time of the year here.
Higman.
This week, he noticed 2 ads from the same advertiser on one page in the SERPs from Google Ads, which is the craziest thing. And then he said, is it a test, a bug, a feature? And then he clarified, he said, this is confusing for me because as far as I'm aware, and that is currently stated in Google Ads policies, is the fact that we'll show only 1 ad per account for a particular keyword. So the example he shows is a little confusing because it's infinite scroll and people were like, oh, is it on the second page? Is it on the first page, the second app? But it shouldn't matter what page it's on. They say they're only doing it once in their policies. They say we'll only show 1 ad per account for a particular keyword. So Ginny responded in the comments, the ads liaison, and said, we're conducting a small experiment testing different ad configurations. We don't have anything further to share at this time, and there is no action for advertisers to take. And she says, we will be evaluating the experiment based on impact on advertisers and user value. I really hate this.
Okay. Why?
I feel like it's going to be like for people's brand names, and they just want to give more opportunities for people to click at the most wonderful time of the year.
Shep,
I saw an example with a brand.
I didn't think about that. That's a great point.
Do you like this?
I don't hate it for non-branded stuff, right? If you don't get that click at the beginning, somebody makes their way through the organic stuff, and let's say it's your Higman, and it's like criminal defense lawyer, DUI lawyer, whatever goofball stuff he does. And you get to the bottom and you have a chance. Everybody's like, I didn't like what I saw in the organic stuff, and you have another shot at the bottom. I kind of think that's cool.
Isn't it a better user experience to give another advertiser a shot at the bottom if they didn't like the first ones?
Probably. I mean, it's going to make CPCs go up, right?
Yeah.
That's like the big deal with it, I'd imagine, is you're not going to get value like clicks anymore. I just think there's a lot of negative to it.
And you can't have it like you need to change the policies if you're testing this. Just have some.
Right.
Yeah.
And one other note is there used to be a policy that I ran into like back in the day. I haven't seen it in a while, but we had a client that provided multiple different options of something, but still was at like the parent level was owned by a company. And there was the policy within Google Ads, and still is, saying promoting the same or similar content from multiple accounts on the same or similar queries, trying to show more than one ad at a time for your business or site is against the unfair advantage policy. And now they're just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that brand side of things. I think that could be really bad.
And how are they going to determine whether or not your ad gets to show again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's based on ad rank and the auction is supposed to be real.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like from a user standpoint, this is unequivocally bad for people using Google. For an advertiser standpoint, if it's for brand, it's super terrible.
Mm-hmm.
If it's for something else, I don't know. It's just shocking. And then to your point, they have all this information telling people what is going to happen with their dollar spent, and they're just going the opposite direction of it. Next up in the news, ChatGPT search is available to all free users.
Woohoo!
Now, this is their search, and you can, again, we talked about it in the must-read marketing article of the week. I believe it was last week. If not, it was the week before. Dan Taylor over on Search Engine Land had a great article about how you can see some of the traffic from LLMs and AI. But now we should be seeing more and more traffic come through into analytics from ChatGPT, as everybody can use it now, not just pro users. And there was also an additional study out there saying that ChatGPT search is supposed to hit 1% market share by 2025. I'd assume that number is going to go up substantially. especially as they keep seeing more. I feel like they're going to try to make people use ChatGPT for more and more things. And I feel like it's a great source where you can just get anything. And as people see more results and go those directions, it'll only increase. So I love this. I think Google needs some competition. I think they need to start thinking about some of those double serving ads and advertisers and try to do right by users. And I love the fact that ChatGPT is out here pushing it. Everybody can use it, and hopefully things change for Big G. All right. And speaking of things changing for Big G, we are trying to
Did you just call yourself?
No, for Google.
Okay.
I'm 2 G's.
Okay.
Greg with 2 G's. I feel like I have been the only person in digital marketing that is speaking out against page annotations. Google has come up with page annotations. You're going to hear about it more in the show a little bit later on. They inject links into creator content. Not everybody has this in their Google iOS app, but this is only for Google iOS right now. And they find interesting entities and then link back over to Google and have you perform a Google search. And you're essentially whisked away from the site that you're on. And the site that you're on never put those links into their content. Google injected it via the Google app.
And where do the links take you?
To Google.
How convenient.
I honestly...
Oh,
He's mad.
I honestly think this is despicable. And I am at my wit's end. I don't hear anybody else talking about this. And I feel like content creators, SEOs, digital marketers, human beings of the world need to come together to stop this. So we made, with Marketing Clock, a change.org petition to stop Google's page annotations, to protect webmasters and content creators. You can see this. You can sign it, and I implore you to please consider signing this. bit.ly/page annotations. That is bit.ly/page annotations. And on here, am I allowed to say we, that you guys are part of this too?
Yeah.
We all are issuing a challenge to Sundar Pichai. We list out why this is a problem, that there's a loss of website traffic, there's a violation of web integrity, it causes harm to small business and creators, and that it's a conflict of interest. And we demand that Google immediately halt the rollout of page annotations, that they engage with webmasters, content creators, and other stakeholders instead to come up with better solutions than injecting links to their own site on content creators' content.
This is very kind of you.
And to reaffirm a commitment to an open, fair, and user-centric web. That's all we're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you,
Come up with a better solution? Like, that's very kind of you.
Fired up since the partner program.
Yeah, that's the last time you made a petition.
We got another one cooking. I just hate this so much, and I just don't want it even to become a thing. And that's what everybody's saying. It's like, it hasn't rolled out yet. It's not like for everybody.
yeah.
Wait till you see the example I'm going to talk about in the organic section. It is diabolical. And we need to stop this now. This isn't good for anybody. And honestly, the worst person this is good for is Google. You are going to lose so much credit. This is antitrust all over it when you start injecting things without permission. The only place it was mentioned was on a Google support that I could find article in the forum. And then the opt-out is a Google sheet. We need to do better. We need to.
Sign the petition.
bit.ly/page annotations. Please read the argument. And if you agree, please sign the petition.
And we'll share it. It'll be on show notes too.
Absolutely. And much appreciated.
And now for this week's
Cool Tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners and is really, really cool.
This week's cool tool is from Suganthan Mohandasan on X, and it's Roam, which is an all-in-one platform for remote teams. So basically, it gives you a map of everyone's offices, and then you can like knock on people's doors to start a call with them or easily chat with them. They also have shelf features where you can like put things on that you're interested in, and it's like easier for people like remote teams to get to know each other.
What are you interested in?
My cat.
Wait, so it's for remote teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a
And you
virtual
make an office.
Yeah, it's actually cool. They have like a like demo thing where you can like walk through and it like shows you like all the things it does.
Would you decorate your remote office? Because you haven't really decorated your desk.
I hung an ornament up on my desk today, actually.
That is so magical.
Thank you.
Julia roasted me. I brought in some Christmas decor today. And she goes, I love how you brought in just a tree. Like, sorry for trying.
Because I thought you just like walked out of your house this morning and like grabbed it off your
I should have
shelf.
done nothing.
Well, no, you know, I appreciate the effort. It was just
Wow.
funny to think about a week before.
I was going to Kohl's to buy people gifts, and I needed to bring something back to show that I had bought something. So I bought a little office decor with Kohl's cash.
Nice. It looks great.
Next time, I just won't try.
Wow, what a hater. See, it's like the opposite with me, where my co-host on It's New, Morty Oberstein, is like so nice about my office all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like so flattering and nice. It's just a pleasure.
He
to be
always
around. And you got
compliments.
Julia over
Yeah.
All your other office decor is great.
there. Okay, so what else can you do with Rome?
Anyway, so it can be broken up by department, and then there's like different floors, so you can easily see who's online in each department. They have a ton of other features, and then it can easily replace other subscriptions like to Zoom, Slack, any other thing like that. And again, they have like a really extensive demo that goes through everything that they offer. I spent way too long going through it this morning. And the best part is it's only $9.97 per user per month. So for a team of 10, it'd only be like $99 a month. Definitely worth checking out for a remote team. We'll have the link in our newsletter and in Discord.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week comes from the one and only Anthony Hickman. He has a tweet over on X tweet and says, yo, I'm so effing over this S. Google is just stealing money from everyone, and this is somehow okay. My client is a truck accident lawyer in the last few months. All he is getting is landlord, tenant, and crazy civil suits. Yet, every day, the only search queries I can see are dead on accurate. But when I go look and see his ad serving for a civil lawsuit firm, this is BS. Google is just stealing from everyone at massive scale. It is BS. And so what he's seeing is when he looks at his search query report, the queries seem to be decent. I'm assuming it's like other search terms that
Yeah.
are being hidden that he can't see, but he doesn't even have that many in this example.
So his theory is that they're hiding the bad ones.
Yeah, which that is why this happened. They say it's for PII. It's really for POS. which is what they're being. You know what I mean?
Also, you already have to like read through an Anthony Hickman tweet with like the title case, as we always say. But today you had to like censor it too.
I'm pretty
It
good
was
at
pretty impressive.
Thank you. But yeah, if the things are being hidden and my life is on the line and I have to say what is being hidden, is it personally identifiable information keywords or rat keywords?
That's what it should say, rat keywords.
The rat keywords. I don't even need to think about it twice. If I have a gun in my head, I'm like, oh no, there's no pie in there. That's rat. That's rat. That is not a rat pie. That is just rat.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week, Gagan Gotra. Oh, this is interesting. His source is asking Anthony Hickman if something's new for paid. He knows where to go. He said, Anthony Hickman, these new showing up next to site names. And this has the site name and an ad. And then next to it is a little text. So there's an ad for a PR agency and it says industry leaders next to the site name, or another marketing agency and it says accredited degrees. People were suspecting that these could be call outs. That would be my best guess.
That or structured snippets?
Structured snippets like have to be in a list, I think.
But couldn't that be one item in a list? Because to me, that's what a structured snippet would be, is to be like, hey, I'm, New York City Volvo SUVs or something like that. I don't know. It's probably call outs.
Yeah. I'd like to know.
Yeah, really.
But I hate it.
You do?
Hate it.
Why?
I feel like when you don't know where something comes from, and Google places this next to the name of a company, in this case, it's 50acres.com.au. It looks like Google is saying industry leaders for that company.
Like that's Google's opinion on them?
That's the way it reads to me. And we've seen some of this in the organic or SEO space where they'll be like, top website or frequently visited website or industry leading web, something of that nature. Go check out Search Engine Roundtable for the exact stuff. I just don't like Google saying that, oh, you're an industry leader in this space. It's an ad.
Yeah. But if they put industry leaders in a headline, you think that's different?
This isn't a headline though.
Right.
This is the company name or URL, the company name, and it's the URL in this case. And it says industry leaders.
Do you like the other example?
Accredited degrees.
That's where I feel like it's a call. That's where I feel like that it's like a structure.
Yeah.
That's like a structured snippet though. That's not a call out.
Structured snippets, they have to be like within the category. They're all like service offerings and
right. But to
amenities.
me though, accredited degrees seems like a structured snippet more than a call out.
my guess is call out. Maybe we'll get an answer. Very strange.
But if that is the case, use your call outs and just say #1 world's best or something.
Yeah.
And then it'll be your name. And then Google's going to put next to it, #1 world's best.
The best there ever was.
Yeah.
Okay, next up here, very short news week. I didn't even realize. You can tell it's the end of the year.
Wow.
I have something else to talk about.
Okay.
I have a correction to myself.
Okay. This is a cool thing, I think. LinkedIn is experimenting with a new feature that allows individual users to pay for increased post visibility, expanding beyond existing business page boost post options. So this is from Search Engine Land, and you can just pick a post. If you're paying for LinkedIn Premium, you can pay, just pick a post and promote it and put money behind it. So you can pick a text post, image post, an article, or a video, or a newsletter. So this seems like a cool thing for someone who's looking to boost their standing. Or what if you needed a job and you were like,
Yeah.
hey
That's fun.
people,
I don't think
boost.
I'd pay to find a job though, unfortunately, but
Okay, and I have a correction. Last week we talked about Kirk Williams' take on, I believe, what we were talking about customizers in a pinned headline
Oh, yes.
that would be at an account level that would supersede an ad group level. And I had said, no, it should be ad group level.
I said no too.
When would you use a pinned headline though? At the account level?
So I haven't ever done it.
I would only do it. Go ahead.
My thought was testing new messaging with a brand, and you have this new idea that creative is playing with, and you want to put it in ads across the account. Or if you were setting up a fresh ads account and you put the brand name everywhere instead of adding it to individual ads.
So I've only used major messaging that's pinned for everything for site-wide sales. And in that case, I think what Kirk was saying makes sense.
Yeah.
Where you say, hey, we have a site-wide sale. Let's put it in at the account and have it go everywhere.
I think what Kirk is saying should be an option. I don't think it should be the default every time.
So I messaged Kirk on X and I'm like, Kirk, I think you're actually right. But I think there should be a button or a way to say, should this supersede ad groups?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, everything is always the taxonomy is the lowest possible taxonomy trumps what's above it for everything. And to me, my brain would break if for some reason the account superseded the ad group. So I think his idea is good, but I think there needs to be a supersede button.
Yeah.
And he had the recommendation of saying, yeah, a checkbox would solve the issue to say, this should supersede ad group. And if you did that, that works for me. And I actually think that would be great. And I would use it more because you could be like, it's a site-wide sale. And then boom, that is pinned headline for every text ad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
I'd like to have the option. Yeah.
Yes. So great idea, Kirk. I can't ever think of more complexities. And if for some reason a pinned headline at the account level superseded the ad group level, but everything else at the ad group level superseded the account level, my brain would be scrambled.
Yeah, I agree. We solved it. You're welcome, Google. Now you can just set it up.
Kirk solved it.
Yeah.
Into the organic news, the Google 2024 December core update launched this past week. It happened right on the heels of the November 2024 core update. This happened on I believe the 12th.
I just feel like we used to get so fired up about the timeline of these updates. That is crazy.
So I
right?
believe it ended on the 5th of December, and that was the November 2024 core update. And then 1 week later on the 12th, the December 2024 core update.
So the entire holiday shopping season is going to be in the midst of updates.
Yes.
And we're okay with that?
No, I mean, I understand it from Google's side. If they're like, and Danny always says, like, if we can make the results better, why wouldn't we just do that now? And that's a valid point.
They better be better.
It's a lot during the holiday season. I feel like they could kick it to January, but whatever. So it started on the 12th, and we'll update you when it's over. Okay. In some actually really cool SEO news, Mark Williams Cook from the Candor agency had gone through and found basically an exploit within Google data. And it was kind of regarding what Rand and Mike King had found with some of the ranking data elements. So Mark found this, reported it to Google. It was certified as an exploit. Google paid him $13,000. So like proof, credibility that this was accurate information. Mark then donated the $13,000, I believe, to charity. But before doing so, downloaded all the information. At least that's what I've heard. And Mark, you're welcome to come on the show if you want to talk about it. But a couple things that I thought were interesting from here is he found that with some of these different basically queries and ways that Google's looking at this information is there's sort of like a consensus score, which I think is a little bit problematic. But you could see if the information in the passages on the site agree with or contradict or remain neutral to a, quote, general consensus, it will get a score. So if you say the number one reason for heart disease is saturated fat, and I say the number one source of heart disease is carbohydrates, there'll be a consensus for one of our information for whoever is closer to the general consensus.
And that would help you rank higher?
I haven't got all that information yet, but to me, that's like a kind of signal that Google, if they are saying like, hey, all these things lean towards a general consensus, that's terrible. Like most of science are people being like, I think this is the way about it, and then being proved wrong. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I think that the sun spins around the earth. Like that was the thing, you know? And it's like, no, we spin around the sun. So because the consensus is like the sun spins around us, that's the information you're going to show. That seems like a very wildly wrong way to show
And this
results.
is not related to like AI overviews.
No, this is how Google search operates. A couple other things that he looked at was that Google kind of categorizes queries into 8 essentially semantic classes, like if they're short facts, if it's yes or no questions, other, instruction, definition, reason, comparison, consequence. There are site quality scores. He had said that they don't use click-through rate, but it is used as like a predictive measure. You should go watch this presentation. It's phenomenal. It's the one he gave over at Search Norwich. And if you want more Mark Williams Cook, they have a great podcast as well. Search with Candor. Highly recommend it. If you are looking for more SEO, go check that out. All right. Also, I just like this blue sky. What is a blue sky post called?
A blue?
A blue. Okay.
Blue.
John Mueller had a award-winning blue, I would say. There is somebody out there on Blue Sky that had talked about the fact that I believe it was SEMrush, aka SEMrush, had all these like kind of rat links in there, and he was talking about, should I go through and remove these links? To which John Mueller from Google replied, it's a billable waste of time. I just want to like bring that into my vernacular where you're like, should I do this? I'm like, it's a billable waste of time. You probably hate me so much if I said that.
Well, you would never say that.
I know.
Well, not for something you actually wanted me to do.
I know. That's what I'm doing now. Like, if you ask me a question about some work you want to do.
Should I add account level headlines?
I mean, it's a billable waste of time, Shep. Like, how condescending is that? I just love that response.
Like, does he actually think people should do it?
No.
Bill for it? Okay.
No, he's saying it's a waste of time. And you're billing somebody.
I feel like some people would like actually do that. Like, that's how they operate. Like, okay, we
Also,
can
I
bill
don't
for
believe
it.
anything that comes out of that guy's mouth.
John Mueller?
No.
Hmm.
Have you seen any of the Google stuff? Have you seen any of these exploit data that we're just talking about right now? No, they're all full of it. All right, somebody that's not full of it is Mike Hardecker over at Mountain Weekly on X. Mike was one of those people that made it to the Creators Summit over at Google, had all of his hard-earned review data around outdoor equipment really tank. And he was one of those publishers that tried to switch to YouTube instead, which to me, just a sidebar, that's still a Google property.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you really hate this company that much, go somewhere else. But anyway, I'm happy if he's making money. I'm happy he's doing well. All I want is for Mike to do well. And he said, I uploaded a short yesterday, and it has over 7,000 views versus 743 clicks from Google. Which do you prefer? Monetization aside, reaching 7,000 people with 20-second video versus wasting time writing. I talk faster than I write. Mic drop. I don't know. I don't even know why I put it in here. I'm just happy for Mike. I want Mike to do well. I'm glad he's got 7,000
You
people.
tell me, Mike. Like, sounds like you'd rather make the video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but 7,000 seems bigger than 700.
Yeah.
So you go follow him over and go subscribe over on YouTube. All right, this is actual information from Digital Information World. I had to include the chart, and the name Digital Information World is on the chart. This is interesting because they looked at a study from somewhere else, but they made the chart, so I have to give them credit. Search engines are outperforming AI for most tasks, but there are many where ChatGPT is gaining ground in research. There are a few that were like skewing way heavy for search, and some of those were like job hunting. People like, don't use ChatGPT for job hunting. But when you look at something like travel planning, that was a lot closer. Looking up recipes, ChatGPT is like right on the heels of Google. That one is 43 to 57%. And then product information and research, which is huge to see that ChatGPT is 43% compared to 58% for search. Like,
That's really crazy.
it's coming, and that is huge. Do you use ChatGPT for research?
I like Perplexity. No, I don't use it for research. I use it for like help with work, making things faster.
Okay. And then I'd say the biggest chasm was legal stuff. That was really skewed towards search. All right. And site reputation abuse update here. There was a conference, I believe it was in Zurich. Danny, I believe, had called into the conference, and nothing was supposed to be repeated about the conference from what I heard. I could be incorrect. That is all legend. But Mr. Jonathan Jones at Johnny_J_ on X shared everything and said a quote from Danny, which is, if you built up site signals based on first-party content and then third-party content takes advantage of those signals, it creates confusion for users. Treating distinct areas as sites within a site can help address the issue. So all the information, all the tea is being spilt.
Is he not going to get invited back to conferences?
Probably not.
He can't show his face in Zurich ever again.
Mr. Jonathan Jones?
Seems like it.
He's a pretty dapper fellow. I feel like he'll get in. But the point is, if you've got a section, maybe it's a different CMS or different tech platform, you can consider it to be a different site within your site if you're being hit, whatever. Forbes has fired freelancers over Google's site reputation abuse. policy. That is according to The Verge. They said Forbes will stop using freelancers for some types of stories indefinitely and has blamed the change on a recent update to Google search policies. Our apologies to those freelancers that have been impacted. Hopefully their jobs created, though. It's not site reputation abuse. It's parasite SEO.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not these poor freelancers. It's your rat content that are showing for things you shouldn't.
How many times have you said rat today?
6.
6.
I know. I'm in a ratty mood.
It's the appropriate word.
Thank you. Okay. Also, the YouTube team is testing voice replies to comments, according to Megan from Team YouTube. They're experimenting with a feature that enables creators to reply to comments with their voice. I believe this is showing for mainly recipe folks now. But instead of typing something out, if you see, hey, I've got a new comment here, and they say, what if you cook it on 425 instead of 400? Instead of typing something out, you can leave a voice note.
This was made for me. Poor Julia. I send her voice notes on Slack.
Yeah.
Easier
I love
sometimes
voice
than typing
notes.
it out. Yeah.
Especially for this. It's like, you can just quickly jump in there. Great.
I like it.
Love it. Not sure if you'll like this one or not, but Google is testing shadow effects when you hover over search results. It's pretty mild, but when you go over any result in the SERPs, it kind of gets this little shadow. I think it's fine.
I like it.
Oh, it's very subtle.
Yeah.
It's cute.
Barry notices everything. Or I'm sure somebody else did, but glad we have a story on that.
This was Brody Clark that found it, but yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Brody.
And according to The Verge, YouTube has quietly made some of its web embeds worse, including ours. And they said for about a year, they've gotten notes from readers asking why our embeds are broken in one specific way. You can't click on the title to open the video on YouTube or in the YouTube app. So this is a big deal, especially if you're on mobile. You're looking at a video, you see that it's, oh, The Verge is reviewing something. You want to click and make it big. In YouTube, it doesn't work anymore. Verge says it bothers us too, and it's undoubtedly frustrating because everyone assumes that we've chosen to disable links, which makes a certain kind of sense. After all, why on earth wouldn't YouTube want people to click over to its app? That's the thing I'm like shocked at. You're on The Verge and you can get people to click on the title of a video to go open it in YouTube, and Google isn't allowing it. They said the short answer is money. Somewhat straightforwardly, YouTube has chosen to degrade the user experience of the embedded player publishers like Vox Media use, and the only way to get that link back is by using a slightly different player that pays us less and YouTube more.
Evil.
Sad days.
Yeah, wouldn't you just want more people on YouTube? Like,
Yeah.
That YouTube
Paying
team
for
led by Neil
ads?
Mohan, I am a huge Detroit Lions fan. And I just absolutely love the coaching and the culture of the Lions. We just played the Bills, Tables team. Shout out Tables,
Tough
nice
week.
win. But you know what? Our last drive was phenomenally coached. We used everything correctly. They knew exactly what we're spiking it. We made it to an onside kick with 2 timeouts left in 19 seconds. And at the end of the day, we couldn't win. But that feeling is just phenomenal. Like, we know what we're doing. And then it was an all-time press release or all-time radio interview. Tables, play the clip here.
You get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us. And well, everything's good, life's good, you know. But you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate your molded bread, you know. And it was just fine, and it gave you everything you needed. And sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that. And so we got a bad taste in our mouth. We got kicked around the other day. We lost a few guys, and you know what? It's exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. So we're going to bounce back. We're going to respond. We got guys that are about to have an unbelievable opportunity here, and we will play the game any way needed to win. We still got a good offense. We got plenty of defensive players. I can go rattle them off right now. We're going to put the best 11 on the field. We're going to freaking cut it loose. We're going to play with our special teams. And I don't give a crap if we got to win by 1 point for the rest of the year. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be happy about it.
moldy bread.
Yeah, but he is a leader of a team. Neil Mohan is breaking all this stuff, is doing a terrible job for YouTube. They're like, oh, we want to be in a podcast. And they're like, oh, guess what happens when you close your phone? You can't play a podcast anymore. Who is going to use a YouTube player for podcasts when you can't play it when your phone's out? Guess what? X allows that to happen. And they're like, oh, here are the YouTube embeds. An easy thing would be is to click on that and go back to YouTube and help people have a better experience. But they can't do this. And the YouTube team is absolute trash. They are the Chicago Bears.
Oh.
Whoa.
And
Poor Bears.
I see this stuff and I'm like, you know what? It is so nice to have one thing in life where somebody I trust and somebody I root for and somebody that I know is doing well. And that's Dan Campbell. And my kids said they would vote for him for we probably need to bleep that. We're going to be demonetized because YouTube is so screwed up. That's why.
We have to bleep the whole rant?
No, just the word.
Oh, right.
So bleep it again.
I would like to see Neil Mohan in a Lions hat.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would pick a new team. If that guy's on my side, I want nothing to do with that loser.
Merry Christmas, Neil.
Okay, and some positive Google news. I've got a new segment here. Shop. I'm going to call this, I owe you an apology.
Me?
I wasn't really familiar with your game segment. The apologies to Google.
Oh.
Last week, right when we were recording, Gemini 2.0 came out. And I poo-pooed it. After it came out, I watched a whole bunch of videos, and the Gemini 2.0 real-time is super cool. You can pull open the live, like it's called multimodal live API with Gemini 2.0. You can have it see a screen that you're sharing. You can talk to it and you can ask it a bunch of questions and say, who is this person? What type of code should I write if I'm trying to make this do that?
Wow.
And it looks at your screen and can answer all these questions real time, talking to it. And then the VO2 version of their video generation is like way better than Sora. And if you want to do, I thought it was funny last week when we looked at like those gymnasts. If you look at the Angry Tom tweets, he did it again and he compared VO2, which is Google's, to Sora. Like look at the tomato one.
That's pretty good.
Watch
That's
Sora.
AI?
Yeah.
I think Sora's is great. He cuts his finger off.
Yeah. There's another really
No.
There's another really funny, like super cute one. It's like a sloth playing Jenga with donuts. And it's like, yeah, the VO2 works really well.
Oh, the sloth is cute.
I owe Google and Gemini 2.0 DeepMind an apology. Some of the new stuff is super cool. Okay, and finally here, we're going to talk about page annotations. I am not going to forget about page annotations. And this week, via Anthony Higman, he has an example of page annotations over on Search Engine Land. We talked about this before, that Google will be identifying interesting entities and putting links for more information. In the Search Engine Land article, there is the text, great ad copy is crucial for Google ad success, comma.
This is Anthony Higman's story for Search Engine Land.
No, I had Anthony Higman pull it because he
Okay.
gets a ton of page annotations.
Okay.
I don't yet. And so what was linked by Google within these page annotations was Google Ads, and we talked about that before. We saw that example. Google also injected a link for the word copy. And it goes to copy, and it sends you to a Google search for the word copy. What kind of
That's
interesting
crazy.
entity is that, Julia?
That's crazy.
That's not interesting. It's
it was-
literally the word copy.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Can I say something else? Interesting entity to me is like kind of limitless. Could they link like an image? What's stopping them?
They could do whatever.
That's true, yeah.
The only thing stopping them is us.
Is our petition.
Our petition. bit.ly/page annotations. I am telling you, Shep, I have not been this fired up in a long time. This is literally the worst. The fact that you could take Search Engine Land, who should be a leader in the space, opting out of these things, can't even see it. And then you're taking the word copy and taking people off the site in what looks like an actual link from Search Engine
Yeah.
Land is trash. What's happening in social, Julia? Anything better?
Okay. First, for social, Meta's testing a no edit tag for untouched images and stories. So the user can now choose to add this note to their story to specify that the image hasn't been edited in the app. So like in theory, you could edit it somewhere else and then post it with the no edit thing, but allegedly they can like weed out which ones have been edited. But yeah, I feel like it's good to help like just build credit I don't think I'd
Of
ever do this. 'Cause,
your
like, I don't
beauty?
care. No, yeah, but like, there's another thing later that'll be like, okay, this would be a good thing to have. But like, yeah, I don't know. Some people might use it. Cool to have, I guess.
Humble brag.
Or just to be like, this is real, you know, like
Mhm.
not AI or something. I think.
Are that many images touched up?
Yeah. I don't think there's
Do you
one
touch
image
your
on-
images up?
Yeah, I don't think there's one image on my Instagram that doesn't have like a filter of some sort on it.
Wow.
I don't really know how to do anything.
Or like
so-
brighten it or something, you know, like do a little like, maybe not a filter, but
I like mess around with filters and my mind kind of goes crazy. So I just like leave
Yeah.
it.
Mine
like
goes crazy?
Yeah, I'm like they all look the same.
Hmm.
Or I don't know what looks good anymore.
yeah.
I just don't have that eye.
You don't like go in there and be like,
I don't go like crazy. No.
you don't be like, here's the makeup filter.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, next from Search Engine Land, Snap has made some changes to creator monetization. So they announced a new program allowing influencers to earn ad revenue from Spotlight videos, and the videos have to be a minute long. So the update simplifies their monetization offerings across Spotlight and Stories. And the current program the new program will launch February 1st, and only videos a minute or longer will be monetized. The goal here is to draw more serious creators to their platform and help Spotlight take off. Okay, next for social, Meta is pushing more AI development despite the risks. So Adam Mosseri basically said people just need to be careful when reading things to know if it's real or not, which this is why the no edit thing could be useful.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He's such a condescending
Yeah.
F. Him and John Mueller would be great together. Imagine that.
But Adam is like
Yeah.
well dressed.
that's fair.
Yeah, but that's why it'd be so funny. He'll just be like, oh, people need to be careful in reading things to know if it's real or not. John Mueller back, yeah, that's a billable waste of time. You know? And John Mueller is actually very nice. I said that comment was funny.
It's like easy for Adam to say that. Like
Yeah.
he should still do everything he can on his platform.
Right. He basically was just like, you can figure it out yourself, which like literally nobody can.
Some
Like,
people
every-
can't.
Every older person I know has
I've
no
seen
idea.
so many
what's real
fake
or not.
stories on Meta the past couple weeks about like Haley Steinfeld being pregnant that are like
Yeah.
AI generated.
Yeah.
Can you
Sometimes
define older? Like what cutoff?
I'll say 55 and up.
All right, thank you.
Have a hard time with.
Don't know if it's real or not.
I mean, sometimes I have to ask.
Yeah. Right. Like, it's hard to tell.
I
Anyway.
get so many fake Taylor Swift stories too.
Oh, yeah. Or like pictures. Like
Yeah.
just like her. Yeah. So stupid. Anyway, despite this, Mark Zuckerberg noted that he expects content on Facebook and Instagram to be mostly AI generated in the near future.
What?
Right? Which is why.
And
they
he's
keep-
saying that's a good thing?
I guess.
It's
I
a
think
social
so
media
stupid.
platform.
Right.
The whole.
So stupid.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No one's gonna like.
Why am I interested in what AI is saying for someone I went to high school with or like my AP Lit teacher?
I feel like Facebook almost all is already AI generated stuff.
You're not interested if somebody has a concept and AI's it on Facebook. You're not interested
No.
in that at all.
Well, if it's funny, I am.
No, what if it's just like somebody just is trying to save time and share a message? You're just not interested?
Not really.
Why?
Because I like Facebook because it's a mess. And
Yeah,
it's like people
it's drama.
I haven't talked to from high school
Yeah.
So you're not
that have
using
no
AI
idea who I am.
for Facebook.
No. Social media is supposed to be real.
Right.
But it's real. It's just from AI.
No,
No.
I can see what you're saying for like LinkedIn. If somebody
Yeah.
is like, okay, I have this theory about PPC and please make it punchy. And what should my first line be about how I gave away the biggest secret ever about Google, whatever. But Facebook is supposed to be real
Yeah.
and like grandmas.
But what if it,
Share this now.
but what if it's somebody says like AIs himself and says, hey, I want a vacation, and they have a nice, beautiful AI picture of a vacation that they went on, and then they're just trying to like make content.
That is a mess.
No, you don't make content on Facebook. It's
Supposed to be
delete your
real.
Facebook.
So you like it or don't?
I don't. And all the grandmas on Facebook and their prayer chains, and they're like,
yeah.
I bet you won't share
If you're
this.
my real
You don't
friend,
want a world without
you'll
cancer.
comment.
What if like bots are in there on the
Yeah.
prayer chain? That's wrong.
Yeah.
That is not the spirit of the holidays.
All right, next, Instagram's testing scheduled DMs. So some Android users now have the option to choose a date and time to send out their DMs, which can be helpful to align outreach across time zones. To do it, you create a DM like you normally would, and then long press on the send button. It gives you the prompt to schedule it. You
On
can
Instagram,
also-
I just feel like you're being creepy and you like
Yeah.
just look at their profile and you want to schedule the message to like not seem immediate or something.
Yeah.
Or like you just met.
Scheduled for 2 days. You can also set up an AI bot to respond to your DMs.
Well, that's
super
great.
good idea.
Great.
You should do it. All content's going to be AI generated on there anyway.
We're just gonna be blobs. We're gonna be blobs in a
Yeah.
beanbag. Like you're gonna have it responding back like, "How are you feeling today?" And you're like, I'm pretty happy." And it's like that AI bot's just gonna write happy posts and DM people back happy.
Yeah. I can't
Nothing's
wait.
real.
And then last, from Digital Information World,
My favorite source.
I love it. The rise of Instagram and the fall of Snapchat. So, Pew Research Center did a study on social media usage for U.S. teens between the ages of 13 and 17.
You could have just said Pew Research. It doesn't have to be from Digital Information World.
Well, I
Oh.
read it from there, and it was so good.
We have to give credit to the dental surgeon by trade and the content
Anyway.
writer by passion.
Between 2023 and 2024, teens using Snapchat decreased 5%, while percentage of teens using Instagram increased 2%. TikTok and Reddit also saw some increase from 2023 to 2024. Are you even allowed to have an Instagram when you're 13? Like, is this a good
13,
study?
yes.
Is it 13? Okay.
Yeah, nothing below 13.
Well, there you go.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
Hardly working for me next week is everyone in the world. I feel like this is so unprecedented to have Christmas and Hanukkah line up, and it's on a Wednesday. I don't know of all my clients anyone who's working. And if you're in B2B, like, keep it tight. That's keep it tight. I'm slashing all my budgets. What about you, Julia?
Hardly working for me is when you have an ad in a pause campaign or ad group with like an old URL or something. You'll get a notification that your ad's disapproved, but it's in a pause thing, but you'll still get the notification. And so then everyone freaks out that the ads are disapproved, but it's in a pause thing. And that just really bothers me.
It's very annoying.
All right, and something working hard. This is going to be probably first and last, but GA4 for me, the fact that you have different source mediums, right? You have a source medium, you have a session source medium from that session, and then you have a user source medium for the user and how they got to where they are via that source medium that is trumped by the session, that is trumped by the user.
You like it?
Well, we had an issue where a client, without us knowing, had put hard-coded UTMs that wrote over source and medium on their website. So you click on these big sale banners, and we lost all of our tracking. So to get it back, we're able to say, here's what the source medium is. If it equals this banner somewhere in it, we know that nobody came via banner. They clicked on a banner. It was a mistake by the client. Totally fine. Let's look at the session source. Right. And I think that's something that's really cool. So we said, hey, if it came via organic, cool. Let's count that as organic and be done. And if they had been there already and previously clicked on a banner and it still said banner, we went to the first user source medium. Jack from our data team did it. It was phenomenal. And we're able to see like where people came from and try to like reattribute some of this lost spend. So I just say like that's something interesting. Look, you can look at the source session and the first user source medium.
It's just like when it's a normal day, you don't know which one to use, but we just need to learn.
But when you see mistakes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like, that was kind of cool. And it was something you wouldn't typically be able to see in J3.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI people,
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI people, this week we are hearing from Andrew Loke at Andrew Loke on X, and he is talking about, he says, today's reminder that audience insights in Google Ads are worth very little, if anything. So he is an advertiser who sells swimwear and swim equipment, and he says these are the overlays or relevant segments in Google terms for us. And the list is affinity segments, again, like the Google generated ones. It says food and dining, beauty and wellness, travel buffs, but snowbound travelers, family vacations, taxi service users, frequently attends live events, And then beachbound travelers is like way down the list. Just
Don't-
be careful with those Google audiences.
Don't just go after audiences.
Yeah.
The query still matters.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
All right, this week's must-read marketing article of the week comes from the Remy Kurhaus from Quant Ads. I was lucky enough to be on a panel with him in SMX Next. It was phenomenal. He's got a great article over on Search Engine Land called How to Beat Audience Saturation in PPC, KPIs, methodology, and case studies. And Remy goes through to explain what audience saturation is, how you can lower ROI and conversion rates, falling CTR and higher CPCs to see that saturation. Goes on to how to monitor it. Also, he talks about the ability for you to have 5 different solutions to overcome audience saturation. And it's just a great high-level article. If you're in PPC, in Google Ads, you cannot miss this. Thank you, Remy.
And now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. Julia, what will you be adding to the playlist this week?
I'm going to add Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield.
Greg?
I'm going to add Soundtrack by The Strike.
I will be adding You for Christmas by Kelly Clarkson.
And before we end the show, just want to say next week is our Clockskers episode. Big shout out to Tables for editing. Big shout out to Lane for all of our awards and our imagery and our social team, Grace, Heather. We have a fantastic show for you next week coming out the day after Christmas.
Friday, right?
It comes out Thursday night. But yeah, Friday, Thursday night, whatever you want to call it.
It's really fun.
We had a great time recording. We had a special guest appearance, I would say. And just a lot of fun all around. And I wanted to just take this time. This is our last show of the year. A big thank you to all of the people who find these stories every day, who contribute content. You make the world go round, and we couldn't do the show without you. But more importantly are all the people that take the time out of the day to listen, to comment, to subscribe, to tell a friend, to share, to give us a review. It means the world to us. And we couldn't do the show if we didn't have listeners. And we sincerely and deeply appreciate your support.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you next year.
Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.